This inmate is trying to escape from prison. While the prison was handing out supplies, he asked for a toothpaste. Go back and squeeze it into a tray. Then he mixed some talcum powder into the tray. Take a pencil and stir it like this. Finally, with a squeeze of the hand, the latex paint is ready. Take it to the wall and wipe. Found that this latex paint sticky effect is very good, but the color is still a little worse. The usual entertainment in the prison is to play poker, and the chips, just the right kind of colorful candy. He picked green and blue. Told his cellmates he liked the colors of spring and the sea. When he got back, he took out a small plastic bag, spit the candy in his mouth, then squeezed toothpaste into it, put it in water and soak him in hot water. In a short time, the same color as the wall plaster is ready. So he began to buy a lot of candy. When he won, he said he only liked these two colors of candy. Then it was time to work on the jailbreak tools. He used a teacup to pry off the iron bars on the ventilation window. He took it off and dug straight into it. The digging process is very slow. At the same time, he had to face the sudden cell inspection. After each digging, he had to cover up the escape site with mortar. When there is a normal inspection, can still cope. If you encounter a prison guard who is particularly careful in searching, then it is very likely to be discovered. In order to tighten the schedule, while the other inmates were out on a break, he stays alone and pretends to study his case. Taking this opportunity, he got to work and kept digging. Suddenly, he dug into a layer of metal mesh and accidentally hurt his hand. But he had to race against time. He had to watch the guards outside from time to time. When someone comes, he quickly paced the wall. Digging and digging iron bar length is not enough. While receiving supplies, he brought a handle, not to use it for cleaning, but to take off the small wire on top. Tie the two pieces of iron together and powder one end into an L shape so that the iron piece is long enough. As you dig deeper and deeper, the mortar is definitely not enough. So he took the toilet paper and stuck it with water, rolled into strips and stuffed into the slit, so that there is no worry about the mortar is not enough. After digging for several days, he finally dug out the first brick. Who knew that the warden would come early for a routine inspection? He hadn't had time to fix it carefully. Even the paint was not yet dry. What should we do? Sure enough, the sharp-eyed warden still found the problem. After taking a look at the man, poked with the key, the man was like an ant on a hot pot. He was in a hurry.
It's like someone's been digging here.
About to be exposed. The man tried hard to control his emotions. After a long time, popped out his sentence.
I don't know. It'd be good if you get someone to fix it. I don't want to get blamed for it. I get maintenance to come in and take a look.
Calm response. A smart response. Let the man get away with it. But unfortunately, the repairman will be coming in 2 days to fix the wall. At that time, his plan to escape from prison would definitely be exposed. He was completely dumbfounded. There was no way he could finish digging the rest of the wall in 2 days. Too late to grieve. He decided to find another way. He only had 48 hours left to complete his escape. If he can get over the 6-meter-high fence from the roof all the way down, he will be able to escape. When people are pushed to the edge, they go crazy. He hid the metal bars, all folded into an S shape, tied them together to make hooks, tore the bedsheet and lamonted into a rope. After tying the hooks, then wrapped the rope with newspaper, tear off the tape, glue the two ends of the newspaper, then make a simple load-bearing ladder. Insert the rest of the newspaper cut by cut together, the top and then make a triangle bracket. The tool is all done. The next morning when he woke up, he first wrapped the newspaper bracket to the right leg, wrap the ladder around the left leg, put on the pants to cover perfectly, then hide the bracket to the top. Zipper up. The equipment is complete. Come to the activity room. Only 1 hour for the event. He was about to face two major challenges: how to evade the guards and surveillance. If he wants to escape, only the first 10 minutes have the best hope, because that's when the guards will be busy with registration. The area of activity will receive the least amount of attention, but the guards can see out through the window. There's a camera in the corner. There is a blind spot under the camera. There's also a large dead spot on the side of the guard's window, so the best place for him to escape is above the camera. Neither the surveillance nor the guards can see it, but this is also the most dense barbed wire. It's very difficult to get through. Another place with less barbed wire, there is a locker underneath that is easy to climb, but the camera and the guards can see. After weighing his options, he decided to try the first position, but there was one last problem before he could act. That was the inmates at the scene. He told all the inmates one by one that he was about to escape. He asked them to keep quiet, don't tell anyone, and all the prisoners actually agreed. Here I must say he is a genius. He had already figured out the psychology of these prisoners. If the escape was inside the cell, if a prisoner saw him alone, the prisoner would have secretly told the guards to get a reduced sentence. But here, all the inmates are there. If anyone goes to the guards and tells them, that's the same as telling all the inmates, I'm a snitch. Then his life in prison will be worse than death. When the guards weren't looking, he took the pole out and put it together. He hung the hook on the top, then he lifted it up and tried to hang it on the barbed wire. But because the barbed wire was too dense, it was impossible to hang. Although this is the only blind spot for surveillance, but he couldn't waste time trying here. He had to get to the next escape point. Although the risk was high, but there was no other choice. He had to take a chance. Under the eyes of the guards, he managed to hang on to the protective net. He climbed up with the rope, successfully used the terrace to borrow strength, finally reached the 6-meter-high fence. Unfortunately, clothes were accidentally hooked again. Hastily took off his clothes and pants, and so, he managed to climb over the parapet. Later investigators learned why he was able to escape from prison under surveillance. It turned out that the equipment was too old. What made the warden even more furious was that the man also left a note for him. It reads, "Goodbye, warden." By the time the police organized and started the pursuit, it had been an hour since the man escaped from the prison. His original plan was to leave the United States, but the people who met him did not appear as promised. He had to find his own way. First, the man stole a bicycle, but on the road, a father and son saw him and recognized him, so he threw the bike away. He ran into the woods. The police soon arrived. The woods were surrounded by a road. The police surrounded the area along the road. At the same time, a large number of police officers and dogs were sent to search the area. The man desperately ran in the direction of the police dog barking less. Due to the heat of the day, police used to rotate to drink water breaks, and the man had to run and hide in the 40-degree heat. Due to too little clothing, he was covered with thorns and scratches. The high temperature allowed the dogs to search for only half an hour before having to take a break. Due to the lack of water and food, the man could only drink the water on the ground, eat all the bugs to feed the hungry. In this way he persisted into the night. Taking advantage of the night, sneaking to the roadside, he ventured to dart over. Until the next day, the police only realized the man may have escaped the siege. Police offered a $100,000 reward while monitoring his family and friends. But the man also knew this, and didn't try to contact them. But he ran into a big problem. For wearing only an undershirt, he was accidentally bitten by a poisonous spider in the woods. If not treated quickly, the situation will become more and more serious. It could even be life-threatening. He needed antibiotics, so he had to risk going to a friend to get medicine. To be on the safe side, he changed places again, found an abandoned hut to start treatment, and the reward posted by the police. This is when it worked. Someone called, said they saw a man at the hut. The police sent someone over there, but when the door was opened, they found that he had once again escaped through the back door to lose the police dog. To cover his scent, he jumped into a creek. At least the water problem was solved.